Have you ever thought about having a toggle on your report to switch between dark and light mode?
Hello everyone, Shab is back with a very interesting video. Stay with me up to the end of this video and I will show you how you can switch between the dark mode and light mode in Power BI similar to many apps. But there are some important tips that you have to apply to your report in order to not to face any probable issue. And I will describe all them at the end of this video. Please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel to get the notification for the new upcoming videos. Connect me through LinkedIn and read Power BI articles on my blog. Stay tuned.
Changing the mode between dark and light is very common in different apps. But are you curious to know how we can do it in Power BI? Watch this video and I will tell you everything you have to do step by step. So consider we have this report on Power BI desktop and here you can see this toggle button. And if I press on it, you can see the mode is changing to dark. And if I press it again, the mode is changing to light. To start, let's create a new page. And here I just create a card visual and drag number of customers measure into it. Okay, now we have this visual. But the question is how we can change the color and switch between dark and light modes. In the formatting pane, you may notice that for the text and background color, a conditional formatting option is available that helps us to use some dynamic colors. Keep it in mind, and I'll come back to it soon to show you when and how to use it. Now, for example, I can change the background color for this visual and choose a dark color for it, and change the font color to a light one. But the question is how I can tell Power BI to switch between colors when I like. What we should use is a combination of a slicer visual and a new table. Let's create this table. So, from Home tab, on Data section, you can see here Enter Data. So, I click on it, and here we can create a table with some custom fields and values. The first column I want to create is Mode. Then I create a column named Color, in which I should fill the color codes. And then category column, which will be used for all options we have to change the color, such as background, text, title, and so on and so forth. And finally, we need to add another column to sort these values, and I call it as sort order. In the first cell, I write dark, and below it, I write light. In the category field, I fill background in both cells. And in color column, I fill exactly the color code I like to see when the dark mode or light mode are enabled for the background. I do the same process for text colors, which should be filled in the category column. We can create as many categories we need using the same process. And then we can choose the colors for dark and light modes. And at the end, I fill the sort order from 1 to as many as rows we have. In this scenario, I insert 1 to 4. Then I choose a name for this table, like color selection, and then load the table. The next step is creating a slicer visual, and here I drag the mode column from the color selection table into it. You can see we have two options now in the slicer, and if I press on each of them, nothing happens. Don't worry, we still need to apply some other features to change the colors. So, how we can select the right color when I choose any of these modes from the slicer? What we have to do is writing some DAX measures. I created a new DAX measure in the key measures field and name it as text color. And then it's equal to and use calculate and open parentheses. Then I should choose the color we like. And as you know, when we created the table, it was in the color column. So, I write selected value and inside the parentheses, insert the color column from color selection table. Put a comma, and then here we add a condition for when category from color selection table is equal to text. At the end, close the parentheses and press on apply. Now let's test to see what's happening when I change the slicer options. I just create a card visual and drag the text color measure into it. As you can see, it shows the color code on the visual. And if I change the mode from a slicer, you can see the color code changes for the specific text color. The next thing we need to do is testing how this color can be changed on the visual. So, I choose the card visual and go to the formatting pane. Open the value section and you can see by default it has a color based on your theme. But now I click on FX button and here in the new window in the format style section I choose field value and then select the measure we created earlier and apply it. Now you can see the text color changes whenever I choose any of the modes from the slicer. The next step is to create something similar for the background. So I just copy the previous measure to speed up the process and create a new measure. Paste it and change the name to background color. And here at the end, change the filter for when category is equal to background. What I want to do is going to the card visual formatting pane and for the background, open the conditional formatting and then choose the background color measure we created. Cool! Now by clicking on each option on the slicer visual, you can see the colors for text and background are changing and it's so great! We can now use a dynamic color selection for this visual. In the next step, we need to create a toggle button which helps us to change the selection by pressing it. So from the insert menu on top, I click on button and choose a blank one. Then let's just move it to here. Let's format this button. First I turn off the border. Then you can write any text on the button or change its background color. But what I'm going to do here is using an image on the button. I previously created two cool PNG images for each mode. And to use these images, I should go to the icon section. And from icon type, choose custom. And then browse the image. As you can see, I created two buttons and just chose each of the dark mode and light mode images for them. To apply the color selection, we need to use bookmarks. So, from the View tab, I choose Bookmarks pane and also Selection pane to apply the interactive selection. If you are interested to learn more about the bookmarks and how you can use them on your reports, you can watch this video on the channel. First, I create two bookmarks. The first one is dark mode and the second one is light mode. What I want to do is when we select the dark mode bookmark, the visuals switch to the dark mode. And when I click on the light mode bookmark, visuals switch to the light mode. So first select the slicer for the dark mode and here on the selection pane, I should just hide the visuals I don't want to see them on the dark mode. Because these names for buttons are pretty similar on selection pane, let's first rename them. Then they will become more clear for us to choose the correct one. Okay, now when the dark mode is on, I don't want to see the button for light mode. And also I want to hide the slicer. If you hide the slicer, it means your users just cannot see it, but it applies its functionality on your report. After hiding these two visuals, I click on three dots on the dark mode bookmark. And make sure the data option is checked, because we want to keep all selections and filters on this page. And you can also choose the selected visuals, and by choosing this option, you can apply it to visuals you selected.
After setting all these options, click on Update. Now the settings for dark mode is finished, and we do the same process for light mode. Let's unhide the visuals, change the slicer for light mode, and then hide the slicer and dark mode button. And then check the light mode bookmark settings and press on Update. As you can see, if I press on each of the bookmarks, the visual color will be changed to the correct state. Cool! Let me unhide the visuals, choose the dark mode button, and turn on the toggle for action section in settings. Choose type as bookmark, and then choose the light mode. And then do the same process for light mode button and choose dark mode for action. Now if I press on each of these buttons, you can see the correct bookmark will be applied and the modes change. What you should do at the end is just to place the buttons on top of each other. And now if I press on the buttons, it seems that we created a toggle button and we can easily switch between the modes. So what required for you is first applying the measures we created to all your visuals conditional formatting color section. And then on the bookmark section, choose the selected visuals you like to apply the changes and then update the visuals. So it is how easily you can create a toggle to switch between dark and light modes. But there are some tips you need to know. As I said before, you should apply these conditional formatting options to all your visuals. Or sometimes it's easier to apply it to one of your visuals and then from here choose the format painter and apply it to other visuals. But unfortunately this option is not available for the page background color. And let's see here. If I go to the page setting and on canvas background section, you can see there isn't any conditional formatting option available for us. So what we have to do is creating a box visual. Set its background color from formatting options and then put it behind all your visuals. So now it seems that our background color changes when clicking on the button. But actually what changing is the box visual color. Here another issue may arise, and when I publish this report on the service, when your users click on this part of the report, something strange may happen. And you can see this box background will cover all other visuals, and it's what we don't want to happen. So what we should do is going back to the formatting option for this visual, and you can see advanced options within the properties section. And here you need to become sure that the maintain layer order is on. Now if I choose it and save the report and open it again, when I click somewhere on the background, nothing happens and everything is fine. And here it is how you can create a dark and light mode on your report. If you like this video, please like and share it and subscribe to the channel to get a notification for the new upcoming videos. And also, if you're interested in learning Power BI, you can read Power BI articles on my blog. Have a good day, all Power BI lovers.